28. Film version. In the final film, the derelict ship also contained a storage place for the eggs. Like the other large sets, the egg chamber was a vast and costly set in the film, and it was also an essential scene. Kane's descent into the egg chamber was only partially shown in the original footage. Here is the scene with the deleted shots.
Come on over here. Huh? Bottomless pit. I think we should go down it, yes? Well, this is your big chance. Huh? Well, I'm willing. Be my guest. Hey. All right, be careful now. Kane, listen. Don't unhook yourself under any circumstances and be out of there in 10 minutes. You got that?
Yes, Scholar.
All right, come on.
Aye, aye,
Be
Captain.
careful.
Okay. Here we go.
You okay down there? You okay down there? Can you see anything?
A cave. A cave of some sort, but I don't know, but it's like the goddamn tropics in here.
Ridley Scott filmed numerous takes of Kane as he discovers and examines the eggs. However, only a minimal amount of footage made it into the final film version. For example, Kane displaying his weapon was omitted from the final version. Although the crew of the Nostromo had weapons, they are not shown in the final film version. The reasons for this have not been disclosed publicly, but it is assumed that the inclusion of weapons would have altered the power dynamics between the crew and the alien, potentially changing the dynamic of the film entirely. Additionally, in the original film, there was minimal exploration of Kane's examination of the eggs and the environment from his point of view. Ridley Scott filmed many shots from Kane's POV. After the Facehugger attaches to Kane, in the original film, the scene cuts very quickly. In the novel, the whole egg chamber is described differently than in the movie. It is accessed via a very tall, narrow vertical shaft. In the egg chamber, the eggs are placed all over the walls as well as the floor. In the novel, Kane also fights a facehugger who has to work past the helmet to get to Kane's face. 29. As Kane descends into the egg chamber, Ripley realizes that the message is not a request for help, as the crew previously suspected, but a warning about the location. Ripley tells this to Ash and wants to pass the information on to the explorers. Ash says there is no connection. Ripley plans to go to the derelict ship to share this information, but Ash manages to talk Ripley out of it. 30. Lifting Kane out of the egg chamber. When the facehugger latches onto Kane, in the movie, the shot cuts directly to Dallas and Lambert transporting Kane to the Nostromo. According to final screenplay, there is a scene where Dallas and Lambert pull Kane out of the egg chamber with a wire. It is very likely that the scene was filmed, although no footage of the scene has been leaked to the public. According to final screenplay, the scene goes, Dallas: Kane, can you hear me? Lambert: what's the matter? Dallas: we better haul him out. Lambert: it'll yank him right off his feet if he's not expecting it. Dallas: try him again. Lambert: Kane, Kane, God damn it, answer me. Dallas begins to fiddle with the winch mechanism. Dallas, the line's slack. Lambert, he doesn't answer. Lambert, do you think he could have unhooked himself? Dallas switches on the winch motor. With a whine, it begins to reel the line in. After a moment, the line tightens with a jerk. The motor slows, laboring under added weight. Dallas, it caught. Lambert, is it hooked on something? Dallas, no, it's coming. Lambert, I can't see anything. Dallas shines his light down into the hole, shakes his head. Dallas, line still moving. Dallas shines his light again. Dallas, here he comes. The winch labors heavily. Dallas, get ready to grab him. Kane appears at the top of the opening, dangles limply from the wire. Dallas reaches for him, then recoils. Dallas, look out. There's something on his face. Lambert attempts to help. Lambert, what is it? Kane appears to be completely unconscious. The life form is still wrapped motionless around his face. Lambert, oh Jesus. Dallas, don't touch it. They grapple with Kane's limp body, lift him from the hole. 31. The final screenplay depicts a scene in which Dallas and Lambert carry Kane out of the derelict ship. Entrance of the ship, Dallas begins to assemble Travois to pull Kane. When the trio is back within Ash's transmit range, Ripley immediately starts asking what has happened. On the way back, Dallas informs Ripley that Kane is injured. Dallas and Lambert haul Kane to the Nostromo using the Travois. There is no leaked material available for this scene. 32. In the film, Kane's transportation back to the ship is depicted very briefly. The film shows Dallas and Lambert carrying Kane on a stretcher near the Nostromo, and Ash comes to meet them at the airlock of the ship. A heated discussion takes place between Ripley and Dallas at the airlock. Dallas reveals that a parasite has attached itself to Kane. Ripley insists on keeping Kane in quarantine according to safety protocols and refuses to let the trio aboard. Eventually, Ash manually opens the airlock and lets the trio in. Ripley is dismayed. It is presumed that more material was filmed regarding Kane's transportation to the Nostromo's airlock than what was shown in the final film. For example, Alien, the illustrated story, presents an exterior shot of the airlock, unseen production pictures, and there is footage of Kane being transported inside the airlock on a stretcher. (33) In the final screenplay, after Kane is brought inside the Nostromo, Dallas removes his helmet. The scene also includes Parker and Brett, who take Kane to the infirmary. It is assumed that material was filmed for the scene after the airlock, as video footage of Kane being carried inside has been previously seen. However, no leaked material is available for this. 34. In the infirmary scene, Dallas and Ash cut off Kane's helmet and examine Kane. They try to remove the facehugger from Kane's face by detaching the parasite's legs, but the facehugger only tightens his grip and chokes Kane's throat. Kane is put in a diagnostic coffin. Dallas and Ash find out that facehugger has threaded a tentacle through Kane. A facehugger keeps Kane in a coma and alive at the same time. Ridley Scott planned to film the examination of the injured Kane by automated robots. For cost reasons, this idea was abandoned, and the examination of Kane and the removal of the helmet will be performed by Ash and Dallas. An interesting movie mistake is the lack of Kane's protective hood under the facehugger. A similar Autodoc device is finally seen realized in the 2012 film Prometheus. 35. The crew observes the infirmary, and Lambert has a scene with Ripley. The crew watches the infirmary from the corridor through a glass window as Ash and Dallas examine Kane. In the original 1979 film, the scene is heavily cut. In the film, the crew just watches the situation in shock. In the director's cut, the scene is longer. In the scene, There is more dialogue from the crew, and when Ripley arrives at the infirmary, Lambert attacks Ripley because Ripley didn't manage to let Dallas, Kane, and Lambert out of the airlock inside the ship. The scene has also been cut in the director's cut. Throughout the scene, Lambert tells what happened on the derelict ship.
Hey, Brad, look at that.
Wait a minute, man. Jesus Christ. What is that, man?
Hey, how the hell's he breathing?
He's still alive or what?
Hey, why don't you guys freeze him? How come they don't freeze him? What's going on, man?
What the fuck is going on here?
Hey, hey! Break it off.
All right. Ripley, when I give an order, I expect to be obeyed.
Even if it's against the law?
You're goddamn right!
Well, maybe she has a point, you know? Who the hell knows what that thing is?
We're gonna get that off him. How are we gonna get it off? Just a minute, I'm gonna get some solution.
What happened to him? What happened to him?
I don't know.
He's in that derelict. Look, we were inside and there was nothing around, so he volunteered to go down below. He found these egg things. Then we lost communication. The next thing we bring him up, and he's got this thing on his face.
In the final screenplay, Ripley comes to the infirmary when Kane is put in a diagnostic coffin. Ripley starts arguing with Dallas. Dallas inquires why Ripley was not allowed inside the ship, and Ripley in turn inquires why the quarantine laws were not followed. Lambert also comes to the infirmary and punches Ripley for not letting them on the ship. 36. Dallas decides that they will cut the facehugger off of Kane's face, though Ash is against the idea. Ash starts cutting the facehugger's limb, causing a yellow liquid to burst out of the limb, which begins to eat a hole in the floor. Dallas rushes out of the infirmary towards the stairs down to B deck, the crew following him. The fluid has eroded through B deck and continued down. The crew lands on C deck, where the corrosion ends. The blood in the parasite is a corrosive acid that makes it difficult to kill. In the final screenplay, the events proceed as in the movie, only the acid drips right next to Kane's head, starting to eat through the patient's examination table if Kane is lying down. In the screenplay, the crew speculates that the asbestos stopped the acid corrosion. Also, Facehugger's wound in the final screenplay heals almost immediately. In the original 1976 screenplay, the acid leaking from the facehugger is also toxic to breathe. In the novelle, after the corrosion scene, the crew considers the possibility of cutting Kane with the LV-426 planetoid. Then there would be no danger of the acid eating a hole in the ship. 37. After Facehugger's acid blood has burned through the covers of the Nostromo, Lambert returns to the hospital and asks Ash if the acid got on Kane. She continues to ask how they are going to get the creature out, but Ash has no suggestions. The rest of the crew arrive, worried about Kane's survival. Ripley looks at the X-ray scanner and notices a stain on Kane's lung, but Ash claims he doesn't know what it is. Finally, Dallas tells Parker and Brett to go back to repairs so they can leave the moon as soon as possible. There are different versions of the scene.
Did any of the acid get on him?
No, it didn't.
Stop dripping.
Yes. Healed on.
Well, there has to be, some way to get this off his face. Well, there has to be a way to get it off his face.
Yes, well, I don't think we ought to try that again. It didn't work out too well last time. Well, I better get some intravenous feeding going. So far, we don't know how much it's absorbed in the system. You all right?
What's going on up here anyway? You think I'm right? You ain't this shit get on him? You gonna live? Huh?
It's that stain on his lungs.
Don't know, Ripley. Whatever it is blocking the scanner.
What do we do now? Hey, what's going on?
Let's go back to work and let's get out of here.
In the novel, Dallas notices the stain on Kane's lung on the X-ray scanner, not Ripley. Ash guesses that the stain is from a damaged X-ray machine lens. This alternate scene was filmed but was cut. There is no publicly available material from the scene.
Are you coming?
Feels like we've been here for a month.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They should listen to us and never come to this planet in the first place.
Right. Should have landed on this damn ball, I know that.
Yeah, you're right. The sooner we get this thing patched up, the sooner we get out of here. Get my own